Xi'an is probably most famous for Qin Shi Huang's Terracotta Army and for one of the best preserved ancient city walls in China. So that's exactly what we are going to explore today. We will also give you some practical tips to make your life easier in the city and show you some regional dishes you should definitely try. After an adventurous bus ride early in the morning, we finally arrived at the site of Emperor Qin Shi Huang's mausoleum. Some queuing and a bit of walking later, there were they. The first bit of the Emperor's Terracotta Army. It was a true history book moment for us. The Sea of Warriors is just absolutely stunning. There are more than 8,000 soldiers, horses and chariots spread across 3 pits. The army dates back to the 3rd century BC and was commissioned by Qin Shi Huang to protect him in the afterlife. The site was discovered only in 1974 by local farmers and since has been fully mapped by archaeologists. Most of the life-size sculptures got damaged over time and now they are being carefully restored from fragments. Each one of them has unique facial features. They were once covered by colorful paint, which has sadly also deteriorated over time. The emperor's actual tomb remains sealed to this day and is located in the western part of the vast necropolis, which covers around 98 square kilometers in total. The next building houses the somewhat smaller second pit. The arrangement here is believed to represent the military guard unit. There are also a couple of interactive exhibits and a photo booth where you can take your fake picture in front of a digital projection. In the third pit, you can see research stations set up to study the excavation site. This is what all the pits used to look like before the trenches were uncovered. These wooden structures were built to protect the warriors. As you might imagine, most of the wooden parts have completely decomposed over the centuries, which is also the reason you cannot see many weapons or chariots. If you manage to battle through the crowds, you can take a closer look at the sculptures in the cabinets. Here you can get a grasp of their true size. The warriors are all between 1.7 and 2 meters tall. The final stop is a museum where you can learn more about the history and nature of the army. The army actually represents a realistic military setup. Even support units such as musicians, entertainers and kitchen staff were sculpted and placed in the tomb. You can also see reconstructed illustrations of what the warriors used to look like in their original colors. Just like at almost every major attraction in China, there is an entire visitor village outside the main site. You can buy local delicacies, souvenirs and questionable trinkets in one of the million shops. The entry to the mausoleum costs 120 yuan and we booked a transport through a WeChat mini app for 50 yuan per person. It was a bit of a chaotic experience, so we recommend booking a less cumbersome shuttle on a site like Klook or Trip.com. Back in the city, we treated ourselves to one of the local specialties, spinach noodles. Okay, so this was not the only thing we ate during our 5 days here, but we forgot to film the rest. So, here are some pictures at least. By the way, the Muslim quarter has one of the most vibrant and diverse culinary scenes in China, so that's a definitive spot to grab a bite. The next day, we paid a long visit to the famous City Wall. There are multiple gates where you can enter. We picked the Andingmen gate, which was closest to our accommodation. You can purchase tickets for 54 yuan directly at the entrance. Many Chinese cities used to have ancient walls around their core, quite similar to this one. Most of them, however, were torn down to make space for urban growth and let the city expand. The governor of Xi'an recognized the historic value of the wall and launched a comprehensive restoration initiative in the 1980s. By now, his foresight has turned the wall into one of the most iconic landmarks of the city. There are a couple of things you can do here on the wall. You can rent a bike and cycle on top of the structure. There is also a virtual reality game where you can shoot arrows at attackers. Or you can join the grannies during their evening exercise. We decided to walk around instead and enjoy the city skyline views. And while we are at it, we might as well share some practical tips about visiting Xi'an. As for accommodation, we recommend staying somewhere inside the city wall, preferably around the Muslim quarter if your budget allows. There are also some budget-friendly options just outside the wall. We stayed at the Holiday Inn Express Ancient Town West, which was quite pleasant. If you are staying in the city center, attractions like the Muslim Quarter, the Bell Tower and the City Wall can easily be reached on foot. For attractions such as the giant Wild Goose Pagoda, the Tram Tower or the Shaanxi Museum, you will need to take public transport. We rode the bus in the city many times and found it super convenient. There is also an extensive metro network and you can use both with Alipay. Just don't forget to set it up after arriving in the region. Taxis are also very affordable. We booked via Didi a couple of times and didn't really have to wait longer than a couple of minutes for a ride. There is a lot more to do in the city, so make sure to check out our article dedicated to Xi'an. We've also compiled a lot of practical information worth knowing before traveling to China into a comprehensive travel guide, so please take a look at the links under the video. As the sun started to set, the illuminations turned on and lit up the beautiful ancient buildings. This evening walk was just the perfect ending to our short visit in Xi'an. Next week, we will take you to the breathtaking Zhangjiajie National Park, the landscape that inspired the Avatar movies. We will also explore two beautiful ancient towns in the Hunan province, so stay tuned. If you like what you saw today, please subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up or leave a comment on our video. This really helps us continue and take you around the world with us.